had the old
Those are my things, sir.
Hello, everybody. Sunday Adelaja here from Kyiv, Ukraine. I want to welcome you to another program of ours today. And you see the title of the program, and that's the title of the book review that we are doing today. How the Church Creates Economic Recession in Nigeria. Moigolos. So, we are going to do a review of the book. So you are going to have the opportunity to look at the book and to actually see the facts, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 points that point to the fact that really it is the church that is responsible for the economy. It's not just for the economy. Actually, when you read this book, you discover that these facts that we are talking about, it doesn't only affect the economy. It's not just for the economic recession. The church is actually responsible for the recession, for the nation, for the national chaos, for most of the things that are wrong in Nigeria. Now, but most people will not believe it because they think that it is the politicians that are to blame. That don't blame the church. The church is not the government. So blame the government. But the government doesn't come up with the value system of the nation. It is the church that does. So that's why I would like you to go and share this message. Share. And I'm so glad that someone has read the book at last, and now we can do the review. Please go share the book. Go share the message. Share right now. Put it in the inboxes of your friends and go call on them to watch with you. I have a very eloquent and brilliant young man here that is very detailed, and I'm sure that he has read the book thoroughly enough to be able to analyze it for us. So if you don't mind, let's go and see Mr. our brother Michael Osibajo. Where are you, Michael? How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, sir. Thank God.
Wow, you are all damp and beautiful today.
Oh, thank you very much.
Both you and the studio and everything.
Okay, thank you so much. As much is going to come out from this place.
Amen. The glory of God. Music, eh?
Not just music. It's not just music. We also have to discuss. We want to have a panel where we discuss doctrinal issue, because we found out that Nigeria right now is lacking doctrinal balance.
Yes.
Bible doctrinal balance, and we as a church and as a team will believe that God has raised us in such a time like this to begin to correct these things. If we keep quiet, the falsehood will keep spreading. So we have to continue. We have to be strategic, and it costs a lot of money. It costs a lot of input, but evil will continue to thrive when good men do nothing. So,
but have you seen? Do you know that is the title of my last book?
Oh no, I didn't know.
Yes, I just released it. The Plague of Silence is out.
Whoa.
And the subtitle is "Evil Prospers, Evil Triumphs When Good Men Keep Quiet," and that is the book, The Plague of Silence. I just released it a few days ago.
I think I need to go for that. That would be
the plague of silence. That is the challenge. That is the problem of the nation. Our own nation is putting everything under the carpet, and we're quiet about everything.
People are afraid. People are afraid to talk. People are afraid to challenge a lot of things. I got my own share of this. Immediately I started talking about some certain things, and I came on DSS show and all that. Some people felt, oh, why would you do that? Why would you join people to start condemning the church? You're not supposed to do that. And I'm like, you know what? If we keep quiet, some things will never change. We just assume that some people know some certain information, but they don't. And we need to take people back to the Bible. Let them see what God, Jesus, says about what we practice in the church, so that they can then make their decisions on information, not on assumption. Because most of our Christians make their decision on assumptions. Yeah, because my pastor says it, That must be correct. That is an assumption. Let's go back to the text and find out if what our pastors or our leaders are told us, if it is true or false. So it's very important that people learn to speak, especially those who know the truth. Don't be afraid. Go out there and educate somebody. Put out the truth there and let people make their judgment based on the foundation of the truth.
I can bet you that when you finally get that book, The Plague of Silence, that it's going to make on you the very same impression that this one made on you, maybe even stronger. Because
I can't wait.
Yes, because it touches on the plague that is holding the Nigerian society down. Either in the family, there is plague of silence.
Yes,
Children are being raped in families, and you are told not to mention it. There are incest going on in families. They tell you not to mention it. Then there are a lot of atrocities going on everywhere. They tell you not to just keep quiet. The elders are doing a lot of wrong things. They say you shouldn't talk. In fact, even polygamy, people bringing in other wives, and the other one, they say, just, you cannot talk. Everything is prospering just because of plague of silence. So that's why I'm so excited that God helped me to release this book. And after this book, on the plague of silence, the next book I'm going to release, you will not believe it.
Which one is that?
The Elijah Challenge.
Wow. Wow.
It's like this 2019 is the year that is going to just break everything loose.
Yes, I believe that. Even prophetically, I believe that 2019 is very, very strategic in this nation because people are beginning to break loose from the stronghold of fear in this country. The same way, if you look back, sir, even our political sphere, you realize that people are now beginning to question our politicians.
Yes.
They are now beginning to ask for accountability.
The plague of silence is being broken even politically.
Yes. So the same thing that is happening in the politics is happening in the church.
Yeah, but it starts in the church. The spirit realm influences everything. Since we started the revolution in the spirit, and with the church, in the spirit realm, it started going everywhere, including into politics.
Yes, sir.
Now, how did you get this book? Because it's not in Nigeria yet.
Yeah, I tried getting the book, and I couldn't get it. So I made some calls. I asked the DSA team. I messaged the DSA team. So they told me places where I could get it. So I felt the easiest one for me is to go through OkadaBooks. So when I checked OkadaBooks, I saw a lot of your books there, quite a number. So I started looking at the topics.
Were you surprised that I had so many books in OkadaBooks?
No. I've watched a couple of your programs, and I've heard you say over time again that you've written over 300 books. So I wasn't surprised.
Okay.
And sometimes when your programs are going on, I see the books in display. So as I was looking at it, I was just checking the titles. So immediately I got to OkadaBooks and I saw how the church create economic recession. Bingo! I just went for it, and
that rang a bell. That rang a bell with you or something.
Because I am a strong believer in this. I've been a strong believer in this. So immediately I saw the book, I just felt, man, you go and learn more. So I needed to hear DSA's view on this. And when I started reading it, it was thorough, it was detailed, it touched everywhere, it touched every angle of how the church is supposed to take responsibility, how the church needs to start taking responsibility for the state of the nation's economy.
But let's talk about OkadaBooks again. What Nigerians don't know is that I specially put OkadaBooks there in a very cheap way. Cheaper than, exactly. But for some reasons, people are looking for physical book. But I made the ones on OkadaBooks to be cheaper than anywhere in the world. But people don't get it. Most people don't go to OkadaBooks.
Okay, maybe people watching now will get that information, because some of this book I got them at almost small money, like they are going for peanuts.
Yes.
And so I was able to buy a lot of books.
Tell me some of the ones you got also.
I got Church, the Breeding Ground for Saviors and Deliverers. I got How to Regain Your Lost Years. I got Mountain of Ignorance. So those are the 4 books I got, and
So
I finished
say,
the 4.
say them again.
The Mountain of Ignorance.
What do you think about that one? You said you have finished the 4?
Yes. So now.
So you are going to be coming back here often, though.
You know, sir, the good thing about OkadaBooks, maybe because of the appliance I use, is it gives you, you can read it if you want. It also gives you an opportunity to hear the audio.
Oh, I didn't know that they have that there. Oh.
Yes, so you can also have a robot read the book for you. So sometimes after reading, I will just plug in my headphone, or when I'm driving, I plug it in my car, connect my device to my car, and while I'm driving and I'm in the traffic, instead of wasting the time, I will just be reading the book. So as I'm going, it will be reading the books to my ears. So that allowed me to hear. So it's like I'm listening to a message over and over and over again.
Even Kindle doesn't do that. With Kindle, you can only do 1 page at a time. Kindle Unlimited. Okay. So it means Nigerians have gone ahead of America.
Yes. So you can just be reading. You to read the whole book. In fact, with OkadaBooks, if you have the time, you can almost finish 2-3 books in a day.
Wow.
Yes. Can finish 2-3 books a day if you have the time.
Oh, I have to be talking more about OkadaBooks then.
Yes, if you dedicate 3 hours of your day to reading, like the How to Regain Your Lost Years is quite voluminous. That's big. You can finish that in almost 2.5 hours to 3 hours. It will read it for you. In fact, if you are not a good listener, you can slow the pace at which it reads. If you are a fast listener, you can increase the pace at which you read. So it depends on you, how you want it. So the application is actually very, very good. I recommend it to people.
Oh, then maybe I will have to go and sign on to OkadaBooks, because I didn't sign up there. I was only on Kindle Unlimited.
Huh? Yes. We need more books there.
So you said, okay, mention the books again. I want you to just say a few words about each of those books. Then we will go to details of this one.
I think one thing about it, for me, I strategically took the books. So I started with Mountain of Ignorance, because sometimes to learn, we have to unlearn.
Yeah.
Mountain of Ignorance really helped me to unlearn what I've known, and then.
But that Mountain of Ignorance is a painful book.
Yes, it is. It is actually. When I was reading the book, I realized, I wish I had known some of
that is exactly my target. Yeah. That is that you'll be reading it and you'll be saying,
Yes.
It's a painful book, Mountain of Ignorance.
Because I realized that when I engage people, and some people engage me or discuss with me on some of this topic, for example, some people cannot reason at a certain level because they are still on that mountain. So until you come down from that mountain of ignorance, there are some level of reason. Some things will not make sense. For example, it will not make sense to somebody that church creates economic recession.
Okay.
Because you are still on the mountain of ignorance. You have to first break that mountain, destroy that mountain, and say, I'm not going to dwell on this mountain again. So it is when you break that mountain and you destroy the mountain completely, it will now make sense to you that really the church can cause economic recession, and this book will now start making sense. So when I finished Mountain of Ignorance, I went to How to Regain Your Lost Years, because I realized that when you stay so long on the mountain of ignorance, you are losing years. You are losing resources. You are losing your life, because now I realize that time is life. And every time you are whiling time away, or you're not making use
so
of
after Mountain of Ignorance, which one did you say you went to?
How to Regain Your Lost Years. So because I now realize that because I have dwelt so much on that mountain of ignorance, I have lost some years. I have lost some time. I have lost a very good part of my life. I have wasted my strength on ignorance because I was dwelling on the mountain of ignorance. So I needed that book to help me regain that mountain of that lost years. I realized how much life is so valuable, how much that life is a race, and whether you like it or not, time is not going to wait for you. Life is not going to wait for you. Life is running. It's on full throttle. It's not going to slow down. It's not going to hold up. It's not going to wait and say he wants to take water, he wants to drink, or he wants to eat. It's always moving. And so if you are competing and running with time, if you don't run full throttle and you don't move at the pace of life, at the pace of time, you will lose time, and you will realize that you had a long life dream and you were never able to accomplish it because you were not maximizing your life. You were not maximizing your time.
How to regain your lost years.
Yes. So that book is a game changer. In fact, I needed the book so much because I realized I have wasted a lot of my time.
Even though you are still young, how old are you? Are you 48?
No, sir, I'm 35, sir.
Yeah, because that is already half of your whole life.
Sir,
if 70 is what God gave us, you are only left with the second half.
So I realized I realized I had a lot of potentials. I realized I had a lot of capacity, but I wasted them because my value system were not balanced. I didn't have a balanced value system.
But all around you in Nigeria, everybody is just wasting the thing everywhere now.
That's why when I was reading that book, Mountain of Ignorance, when I was reading that Mountain of Ignorance and I was reading this book, I was pained. I wish that book can be inculcated in the Nigerian curriculum.
Mountain of Ignorance.
No, the how to value.
How to regain your lost years.
Yes, how to manage time. It's not even about regaining lost years, because now that is like salvaging what is already lost.
Yes.
But there are some things in that book that I feel like time management. How to meticulously, how to put so much value on time. To understand that your time is your life. And because you understand your time is your life, every time wasted is your life wasted. And people...
Then you have to go and get my books on time too.
Yes, I really would love to.
Yes, I have several. What do you do with your time is one. And then how to become great through time conversion is another. Those two books.
Yes, I need to get that time conversion.
Yes.
Yes. So I believe that those things needed to be, if I had known this years back, there were a lot of things that I had involved myself with, or I did not involve myself with, that I would have taken seriously, that I would have invested heavily into. And maybe now the story will have been different. Maybe now I will have been able to change some things. I will have increased capacity. I will have built so much strength to be able to change and challenge some certain things and be able to solve some major problems in Nigeria. Because we just talk about the problem, but there are no capacity, there are no people to solve it, because instead of people solving problems, they are busy wasting and destroying time. And we say we are killing time, we are whiling away time, but we don't know that we are whiling away life. And as we are whiling away life, we are also destroying the country. We are destroying the economy, because this country is not going to change. It is me and you that will change this country. But for us to change this country, we have to put a lot of effort in our time, how we manage our time. We have to realize that this nation depends on us. The survival of this nation is on our shoulder. And so because it's on our shoulder, the way we approach life will be different. There will be so much value for life. There will be so much value for every minute and every second that is spent. We will be accountable. We will look at our 24 hours and take stock of the day and say, what have I invested in? What have I achieved today? Am I taking my step into the right direction? Am I adding value to my nation? Am I adding value to my economy, to my community? Am I adding value to my life? So that book blew my mind. Then I moved from that book and I went to How the Church.
You moved from How to Regain
Your Lost Years.
Yes, but let's put the how the church creates economic recession as the last one, because that's the one now we do today.
Then after this, I did church, the breeding ground for saviors and deliverers. I know somebody had already done a review on this before.
Yes.
Yes, but one of the things that book did to me is...
But you have to tell us your own feeling, your own...
Yes. That book is solution to this book that we want to review today.
Is the
That book is
solution.
yes. It's like, yes, this is the problem that the church created.
This one is the problem that the church created.
Now that book is offering solution to the problem that the church created. So the book is like, to these two books, I see them together hand in hand. This book is saying this is where we are. This book, this one we are reviewing today, is like taking stock of where we are, taking stock and taking responsibility and saying this is the state of the church, this is the state of the nation, these are the decisions we have taken, these are the steps we have taken to cause the problem that we are in now. Then the other book, the church, the breeding ground for Savior and Deliverer, is now offering solution and saying, you know what? Instead of creating economic recession by this thing that we are doing, this is what we are supposed to be doing. We are supposed to be saviors. We are supposed to be deliverers. We are supposed to be people that we are supposed to be the light of the world, because that's what Jesus calls us. The Bible says that he said the kingdom of this world shall be on the shoulder of Jesus. We are supposed to carry the economic burden of the world. We are supposed to carry the value. We are supposed to be the one that sends out value into the world. We are supposed to be the people who dictate the affairs of the government, the affairs of the health sector. The church is supposed to be the one setting World Health Center. They are the ones supposed to set the agendas of United Nations. They are supposed to be the one setting the agenda of every sphere of the world. Peace and equity. That is supposed. Those are the values that we're supposed to reach out to the world. But so the book is a solution. So I recommend that anybody,
everybody can just tell that you have read, you have been reading, you have been dwelling on Dr. Sunday Adelaja's book. So because now you are more like him now. It's wow. Like you are carrying the anointing and the energy of DSA is coming upon you.
sir, do you know why I'm passionate? Because I encounter people daily. I talk to people, and when I talk to people, people just still don't get it. And some people would, even some friends, are not happy with me because of some of these things that I'm saying. They will say,
let them go and read the books. Once they read it, they will become like you too.
So so that's why sometimes this thing is coming with so much pain in my heart. How I wish that people can understand and we can get ourselves together. Let's take our lives back in our hand. Let's take responsibility for the things that is happening in this land, and let's stop blaming Mr. A or Mr. B, because we are all a piece of the puzzle. Everybody has a role to play in this thing, and so it depends on you, it depends on me. So what I recommend for people is that if you want to get a balance of what the book we want to review today, you also need to read the solution, which is the church, the breeding ground for saviors and deliverers.
But this book also can make you cry.
Sir, for somebody who is I've been in church a lot. I've spent a very good part of my life serving in the church at one capacity or the other.
Half of your life.
Yes, and I understand how these things, how real and how true this book is. Because when you see the things that we come to church for, the purpose that brings us to church, you will see that nobody puts God in the equation. What to do for God is not even in the equation. It is about what to get. So it's like we are all playing cards, the church and you. So church wants to invite you because of the motive of your heart. Because you have a problem that you want God to come and solve. So because church understands that you too, you are coming here because you have a problem. And church too, we now use you to solve their own problem. So we are both using each other. And because of that, no economy grows under such a relationship where the relationship is a transactional relationship. About what you have to offer, what do you have to give to me. So if you look at the Nigerian church, you will see the churches who have miracles to offer. The churches with miracle are the biggest churches. Because the sole reason why people are coming to such place is because they have limited the power of God to one man who can speak and who can lay your hands or give you anointing oil, and your whole problem will just be solved overnight.
That's what Babalawos do now.
Yes. We have reduced God to that. So it's a transactional relationship. So people don't really get to God. So people see God as a means. So when they get to that means, they just stop there. They don't want to know God. It's just like the people in the Old Testament. That's Moses, you go and meet God. Go and meet God for us. Go and communicate with him. So whatever he tells you and whatever he gives to you, come and share with us. So people don't want to have an encounter with God. People don't want to relate with God because the system has been built in such a way. Somebody has been elevated high as the mouthpiece of God. So that is blocking people from communicating with God. People don't understand that what we call miracle in Nigeria is egocentrism. Because God's idea of miracle is not that one person should be the one that is anointed. If Jesus wanted to be the only person, by his death, there shouldn't be a church. Immediately they killed Jesus, they should have succeeded and say, we got it. But what they didn't know is that Jesus was not egocentric. He was even thinking beyond himself, that the more you kill them, the more they multiply. Because he has created a system that is multiplying himself in people. So when they killed Jesus, they saw thousands of Jesus, other Jesuses, rise from all over the place. And when they killed those ones, millions of Jesus rise all over the place. And so it keeps increasing. But can we say the same thing about Nigeria? There are a lot of ministries there that are folded up because the man of God who was pioneering that ministry died. Because everything about that ministry was based on one man's anointing, not a system. That is why when we get into the book, we will see bigger miracle. That there is what we call a greater miracle. And we will statistically look at it. We will put figures, put it side by side, that the God's intention of saving the nation, of miracle, is different from what we have in Nigeria. That is why.
Let me ask you, before we go deep into this book,
yes, sir.
What is you have read 4 of my books now, or maybe more. What conclusion have you come to? Because somebody told me that even if I don't come to Nigeria, that these books alone, if people read them, that they are enough to change the country, because there are people on ground, they just need the truth. That in churches, they are not getting these messages. That if they could get hold of these messages, that revolutionaries will arise from that within Nigeria itself.
Yes, sir. You see, the challenge here right now is few of us, the value to read, for reading, is so low. People don't value it. People don't value. People, you see, the system here is about a person. That is why when you look at a lot of attacks that you get, people will attack your person.
Yes.
Not your values. They don't care about your value. So value is not what we celebrate here. We celebrate people. So if you come to Nigeria now, people that will not follow you because somebody said this about you, not because they themselves had checked your value and they saw that this is the right value to follow. So there is a lot of hypocrisy. There is a lot of pretense going on around here, because people understand that if people know me, you see, the way you are very open to the world and people know you and people can talk to you and relate with you, it's very difficult for the system, the leaders in Nigeria, to do the same, because they know as people come closer, they will see some certain things in them, and when people see those things, they might cut away from them, because what people are actually following is the people. They are looking at that person. They are trying to, because there's so much hypocrisy going on. So I want to appear to the people that I'm perfect. I'm very perfect, because the day people know you are not perfect, Nigeria will not follow you. They will not follow you because you have portrayed yourself to us that you are perfect. So you will do everything to protect yourself from people understanding so many things about you. So in answering your question, people in Nigeria don't read. So now people might not want to hear you, or a lot of people don't even watch this program. But I believe that the more people like us, as long as people like us are still here, and many of us are still here, if they will not hear it from Pastor Sunday, they will hear it from me.
Yes.
If you hear it from me, you will hear it from my brother. If you don't hear it from my brother, you will hear it from my friend. So we multiply by the day, and I believe that as time goes on, this truth is going to take relevance in Nigeria. I believe so much strongly. People might not value it right now, but as we begin to educate people, as we begin to speak, we're not going to keep quiet. Nothing is going to shut us down. Nothing is going to shut us from telling people the truth. as we keep saying the truth, if they will not hear it from this person, then they will hear it from people that are close to him. Because what you have done, successfully done, is you have replicated yourself in a lot of people in this place. So even if they stop you, even if you don't come to Nigeria, sir, your messages are already grounded. They are already grounded here, and it is the messages are unstoppable. Nobody can stop it. Nobody can. They can even stop Pastor Sunday from coming to Nigeria if it is possible, which is not possible. But can you stop all the people that his works has affected in Nigeria? Can you stop the people that his values have transformed in Nigeria? No, I don't think that is possible.
So what will be your... Now let's talk about the books themselves. So after reading 4 books in a very short time, what will you now say about the content of those books for Nigerian situation? Can they help?
Like I said, I feel that the content of the books, I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. People who want to know your heart. You know, when you come live and you...
No, without me. Remove me from there. This is not my son, but also this book. Just the content of the books.
The content of the book, there is no way anybody that is sincere, because some people can read for the sake of reading, but anybody that is sincere and wants to learn how to progress in life, how to move from a higher level of thinking, a higher level of performance, a lower level of performance to a higher level of performance, when they read your book, there is no way their mind will not be transformed. All the books, they are so mind transforming that there is no way for those who are sincere, because some people can just read for the sake of reading. See, as a matter of fact, some people can go even read because they want to go and criticize. But when you read it, even when you go there to go and criticize, you will see a lot of truth. You will see that there is so much truth, a lot of statistical analysis, a lot of detail. And you know one thing I love about the book? The simplicity of the writing. They are so simple that even somebody who is not so detailed, or who doesn't understand too many vocabularies and grammar, will still see the book and still be able to understand the things that you wrote. The few that I have read has transformed my life. Every time I read a book or your book, I make decisions. As I'm reading it, I'm making decisions. As I'm reading it, I am making decisions. Because that is the only way. Because there is, you see, the one that talks about value, how to regain lost years. I realized that, man, I have wasted time. I've been foolish with my time. And immediately I started making decisions. I started drawing out plans. I started planning my day. I started planning my time. That I can add so much to it. Immediately I finished that book, a lot of things that I had stopped doing, I went back. Because I realized that there is time to do those things. It was just laziness that made me abandon those things. That I have the capacity. I have the time. And if God knows that I won't be able to do it, He wouldn't have given me that capacity. God gave me so much capacity. So that book alone transformed my life. So every book, for those who really want to be transformed with, there is no way they will read your book that they will not transform. There is no way leaders, pastors, teachers, entrepreneurs, students, anybody, even artisans, there's no way they will read those books and it will not reflect in the way they handle things, in the way they see things, in the way they do things, because that book is relevant for everybody. So those books have really transformed my life. And so when you said the passion at which I talk is because I believe in the truth that were being said in those books and the simplicity at which they were.
Now let's go to how the church creates economic recession. What will be your first impression? Or your first impression after reading it? What were you feeling? What happened to you? Because you even called in one program, we started talking, and I knew that you had started reading the book.
Yes. First impression is this book is very relevant for now. This book is very relevant right now. I don't know. I think you wrote the books quite some time ago. But
the book we wrote it last year.
Last year.
Yes.
This book is relevant for now, like today. The book is so relevant that I believe that every church leader needs to see the content of this book. where we are, let me say why I said that. In my place, in my church, place I worship, we started this year in Nehemiah chapter 9. And what we saw in that place is how the people gathered an assembly, they called an assembly, and they repented. They repented because they realized that whatever has happened to us is not because God is not faithful. God is faithful. God will always play his part. So the reason why we have suffered what we have suffered all this while is because we have been unfaithful. It's because our neck, we are so stiff-necked. We have been wicked. So this book is very relevant for now, and this should be their sincere church member, Christian that read this book. It will bring you to a place of repentance, where you want to remember that we've been wrong. We've been wrong. We have not done what Christ has commissioned us to do. We have misled the people. We have not taken our place in the society. We have been wrong. So it will take us to a place of repentance. It will take us to a place where we will be crying to God for mercy. It will take us to a place where we will take responsibility, and we will retrace our steps and change our direction. So first impression to this book, it's relevant for now. It's a powerful book that's relevant for now. Two, another impression I got about this book is the how vast. You see, this book touched almost everywhere. It touched everywhere. It didn't leave any detail. Because if we look at all those details, there are a lot of practices, a lot of things that we do in our church that we don't know that in the long run, those things have a negative effect on our nation, on our people. There are some words we say, there are some programs we do that we need to cancel and stop doing them entirely, because we think that we are doing people a favor, or we think we are doing something nice, but the end of it is going to bring poverty and it's going to bring recession to the nation. So those small details that this book highlighted, they were mind-blowing, sir. Mind-blowing. So in reading this book, there are a lot of values that was elevated in this book, and those are the values that I want to share with the people. I want to share those values with the church. I want to share those values with the nation. That look, these are the values that Christ commissioned us to teach the nation. Any nation that lives by those values, the nation will be a world-class nation. But the reverse is the case in this place, and we will go into the book and you will see how we have come to where we are. You will see how the church had brought so much poverty to the land. You will see some of the programs that you do, some of the decisions that you make, some of the preaching messages that you preach, how they have configured the mind of people, and the state nation is what it is today.
So you started with the introduction, the book.
Yes.
So tell us from the introduction. Let's start from the introduction.
The introduction is so powerful because it spoke about the state of the people, the mindset. I think the introduction started with the mindset. And what is that mindset? Get it now mindset. Get it now mindset.
I call it instant gratification.
Instant gratification. Instant gratification. I want it now. I want it fixed now. So for any nation that is going to progress, any nation that is going to move to the next level, any nation that is going to
be good, that's going to be great.
That's going to be great. The nation has to be a nation that must throw away the vice of instant gratification, because it is a vice. It is a virus that will eat and kill any nation. When people cannot suffer, when people cannot control or discipline themselves to understand that when we control ourselves and we go through the pain of today and we build values, tomorrow is going to be greater. But because our pulpits have created a get it now mentality, you can get it now, you can receive it now. If I hear the loudest amen, you will get an alert in your bank account. So because we have that mindset, what that does to people is it makes God directly responsible for the things that man should be responsible for. You now begin to, it demeans our mind. It makes our mind animalistic, because you will now be expecting God to do the things. You will not be able to engage your brain. You will not be able to understand the value that God has put in every man. That man is supposed to be a problem solver. Man has been equipped to be a problem solver. So the introduction said so much about how nations of the world. There is no nation in this world that has been transformed by miracle, by prayers. If you look at UN statistics of the greatness of nation and look at their data, the values that transform the nation are listed there, and I'm yet to still see fasting and prayer there. I've not seen anointing oil in that place. I've not seen miracle as one of the values that is going to transform a nation. America was not what it is because they had great men of God that can do miracle. Singapore was not what it is today because they have pastors who are anointed, who have visited sometimes and have returned to change their nation. No, they built their nation deliberately with making the right decision, building the right value system into the economy, changing the common man, the common citizen of the nation, imputing them with values right from their system, right from their childhood. They build your value system so that collectively nations are built. So there is no nation that was highlighted in this place, that our dependency on miracle is one of the main problems that we are having in Nigeria. Our dependency on quick fix has produced more criminals than more righteous people in this country. Our dependency on I want it now, I want my problem now, has so much eaten into every sphere of our society that people are ready to do anything to become rich. In fact, when you look at the state of our church, you can see the kind of system that we value. That we value money. People who have money and are attending churches, they are given special treatment.
Yeah.
They are given special treatment. Those people are given special consideration. Those people are given a special place in the church. So indirectly, what have you done to the mind of the people? You have told them that if you make money, for you to be one of the very relevant people in this place, make money, don't worry. So when you want to see your pastor, if you have money, you will see your pastor quick. If you have money, you have your pastor's number. Your pastor will have your number. You can access him easily. So we realize that the people, the church, actually pastors, that the pastor directly, they are the wealthy people in the church. So if you don't have money, so if I don't have money in the church and I begin to see the way rich people are treated, my mind is set, on fire. I want, let me go and make money too.
Anyhow.
You make money. Yes, anyhow, you make the money. As long as, that's why you see a lot of people who are in our churches. That is why instead of the church to be creating good values for the economy, we are creating more criminals. So it didn't start from the war. It didn't start from politicians. Those politicians, they were first Christians. So the politicians that are looting our money today, that are crippling the economy, they grew up in the church. So how did their value decay to that level? Because of the system that the church has put in there. So when people tell me that what has church got to do with the recession in the country, I tell you that the church is supposed to be the heart of a nation. They're supposed to be the conscience of a nation. They're supposed to be the value builder of a nation. So if you look to a nation that is crippled, that is decaying, that is corrupt, let's trace it back. It's like you want to be throwing stones at a politician, we need to go to the roots of the cause. The cause is the church that has produced that value system. So I'm not going to join a party to be cutting the branches and be cutting the leaves. And I say I'm cutting the leaves. No. Let's go to the root and approach it from the root. The root cause is the church. Because we are the ones that have taught them that value. Directly or indirectly, we have created that value in them. The greed that is so much in this land is in the church. Go and look at our institution, church, the church system. You will see so much greed. Why would the church want to have 1,000 branches? That is greed. That is greed. Why do you want to have 1,000 branches? Why do you want to have your church all over the world? Why? It is greed. And when you do that, indirectly, you are saying something to the people that follow you. That
When
you can be greedy.
But it's not just in every city, but every street I had, or 5 minutes drive.
Sir, you see, I wouldn't have had a problem with it. I wouldn't have had a problem with it. In fact, if every house in Nigeria was a church, if every house in Nigeria was a church, I wouldn't have a problem with it. You know when I started having a problem with it? Because despite the volumes of church that we have, despite the numbers of Christians that we have, Nigeria is going worse and worse in value.
And this book tells you the reason why.
The reason why is so listed, purely listed. When you read this book, you will see a lot of reasons. Some of the things that we have taken for granted and we did not look into, you will now see that I have believed this thing. Every one of us, at one point or another, we have believed some of these things until God decided to give us a mental shift. We have believed some of this. We have given ourselves to some of these beliefs. Let me share a testimony with you, sir, before I go into the first chapter. I said, when I saw Nigeria, a nation, and we begin to celebrate some good dates. Let me give you an example. A police officer or a security officer found money that is not his own, return it back to the owner in Nigeria. That person will be given national honors. So, and the church will be happy. We'll celebrate such person. You know why? It shows how low our value is. It shows how decayed our value had become. So that one simple act of kindness that is supposed to be a norm, that when you go to Islamic countries, nations, you go to Saudi Arabia, to go out and pray, they leave their shop open, knowing fully well that somebody is not going to come to that place and come and steal my good. It's a normal value. It's not a new thing. It's not a strange thing to them. But we that call ourselves Christians, we will now see a police officer perform his job well, and we will give the person a national award. Because you know why they celebrate the person? Because they don't themselves, they do not believe that there are still such people in the land. So it shows how decayed things have been. So, and you know what? Instead of us to take responsibility for that decay, we will blame it on the government. We will say it's the government that has caused it. It's the government that has made the people to be criminal. But we have forgotten that the value of the land is, if the government, if the world has the answer, then there is no need for the church. There is no need for the gospel. Because the world will ever be in the darkness, and Christ will always be the light. That is why we have to take responsibility if there is darkness in our land.
Beautiful. So what did chapter 1 start with?
Chapter 1, very fantastic book. I think I already spoke about it. Chapter 1 was talking about the get it now mentality.
Yeah.
The get it now, instant gratification. Get instant gratification. And you know why this is very relevant for me? This chapter 1 became so relevant when I saw what is happening in the political arena of Nigeria. Do you know why a lot of people would prefer a article?
That's what I'm hearing. But mostly those are Christians who prefer Atiku.
Yes, sir.
And they are telling me the reason. They tell me the reason. They say because he will shop and let us shop too.
Yes. You see, that value is telling you, we don't care if he's a thief. We know that he's a thief. But for us to just satisfy our stomach, no. We just bring in the thief. Because we cannot go through the pain. See, we cannot go through the pain. There's so much pain in the land. There's money. There's no cash. There's no fiscal cash flowing everywhere. The economy is tight. So we need to bring in a thief. We know that he's a thief. We're not saying that he's not a thief. Deep down, even people who are not admitting that he's a thief, deep down in their heart, they know that this man is a thief.
No, most of them admit that it's a thief, but they say we prefer a thief now who will bring money out, who will bring the thing out.
Sir, and I was sharing with somebody yesterday. I said, guess what? Why do you think when they brought Jesus and Barnabas, people said, we know Barnabas was a criminal. Barnabas, this is a man that disrupted the society. They know that he's a criminal. In fact, releasing him that day, we don't know what is going to happen to him. But you know what? We prefer the thief. We prefer the assassin. We prefer the criminal. Let him come. As long as this man, you don't free him. Because this man is making us lose our position. He's making us lose our relevance. He's making people not to hear us again. He's making people not to follow us again. So that is the that is the vice of instant gratification, which I believe that the church has produced. And how does the church produce the instant gratification? When you look at, you talked about the marshmallow experiment.
Yes.
Fantastic. Where you just realize that you wait. I will give you this marshmallow. You wait. For those of you who did not eat their own marshmallow,
yes,
between so frame of time, we will get more. More people will eat it. They just want to eat it. We don't care about what comes after. But it's only a few people who can wait, even though the marshmallow is so attractive now. But there is glory waiting ahead. So we will wait for the pain that we get right now, so that we can get the glory that waits ahead. That is why Jesus said, for the glory that waits ahead, he went through, he suffered the pain of the cross, the humiliating pain of the cross. And now today, our foundation on our faith was built on that delayed gratification that Jesus suffered.
But how many churches will you go to in Nigeria today when they will tell you, they will teach you delayed gratification, perseverance, patience, long suffering, endurance? I think it's breakthrough.
Some churches teach it, but it is different. You see, until something becomes a value system that drives. You see, I can come here now and talk about this book and it will be very fantastic. But the values that I've learned in this book, until it begins to drive my life.
Yes.
That is what is the difference. So it's not as if the church don't teach it. They will teach it. They will talk about it. But are they living by it?
No, I don't even know them that teach it. I don't. Maybe you can name them, but I've never. When I was in Nigeria, Deeper Life sometimes maybe could teach something, but they were not even teaching delayed gratification. They were teaching only maybe holiness, but concretely delayed gratification.
Yes.
I didn't even know the word, and I was not even familiar with it.
Wow. So it's a value that people need to do away with. Our church needs to stop it. Our church needs to stop, feeding people by some of the things that we do, to think that, you know what, you come here and come and get it solved. We will pray for you and we'll get it solved. Because if as we go later in the book, people will understand why this thing is more of a problem than a solution. A lot of people see it as a solution right now because they feel as long as I get my problem solved, it doesn't matter.
That's why they see Atiku as the solution.
Yes, but the people, you see, what they don't mind is we don't ask the question at what costs. What is getting our belly filled now? What is it going to cost us? So for people to understand, they have to learn the principle of delayed gratification. I told people it's like a woman who wants to have a child but doesn't want to go through the pain of contraction and carrying pregnancy. The time you are carrying the pregnancy is not comfortable, it's painful. You will lose your body, you will lose your shape, your face will change, your leg will probably swell, you to yourself you will not look beautiful. But when you finally give birth to the child, you will smile that you waited for 9 months to carry that child. So these are the principles that the people need to learn in the church. Our church needs to be paying a lot of emphasis on this. And not just saying it, but we need to redirect our value. The decision we take as a church, let it begin to portray this. How can delayed gratification, instant gratification, how can it be done away with? When the church in Nigeria begins to understand how to build system, a system that is decentralized, a decentralized system instead of an egocentric system. Because egocentrism brings instant gratification. The only reason why people will be running to you is because they believe you have the solution to their problem. And you that wants to make gain too, you want them to come because you too that is building, you are getting gratification from what you are doing.
You are also egocentric.
Yes. If you organize a program now and 1 million people come to your program, you feel big. But what effect has that left in the mind of people? You have just put in their head that the solution to their problem is in your hand. You have just made yourself their solution. And how many people die every day? How many people lose their life every day because they are looking at one man, the anointed man of God, as their solution? So we need to begin to build institution and say, you know what? You are looking for healing. As a church, we will go through the pain of creating an institution called health centers. We know that it's not going to be instantaneous. It's going to take us time. It's going to take us money. But when we go and we create that system, instead of you coming to me for your healing, almost 75% of the problem of health in our church will be solved in that center. And so that takes the gratification away from you, and it takes it into the system. So that long time after you are dead, when you are long gone, the system that you have built, people who were not alive when you were alive, people who were born after you are dead, will still benefit from the system that you have created. That is why we need to do away with instant gratification.
But when you saw the book and you have read the book now, and you look at the photograph, do you see the photograph at the cover of the book? Does it really depict the problem?
Yes, it does. It does, because you see, we need to keep emphasizing on how the belief system of a people determines their standard of living. Our value system, every human being in this world live by the riches of their value. Either you are rich in value or you are not. If you are rich in value, the way you live, you will see it. If your value is decayed, you will see it. So when I saw this, look at the beautiful church in the cover. The church looks beautiful, organized. But behind the environment of the church is poverty. Poverty everywhere. And sir, this is exactly the state of Nigerian church. What you are seeing in the picture is the state. God, in fact, let's even go to the physical churches, denominations. That is why a man of God will build a heaven in a land, in a piece of land. Once you enter that place, like this is heaven. Immediately you come out of that community, that church, you will just opposite that church. You will see shrines of people, ritualist shrine, just directly opposite.
You go into hell.
You see ritualist shrine where they are.
From heaven to hell.
Just directly opposite. Hell. Straight away. We think that, what is this? Is it not our responsibility to make everywhere look like we just came to? Let everywhere look like this. Everywhere. Let what we are seeing in this place, let's multiply it everywhere around. Because actually the mind of God. God is not just telling you to go and gather in one place. That is why the temple was destroyed in the first place. Because God wants you, the people have seen that temple as the almighty place where God dwells. But God is saying, no, I want to dwell everywhere. Stop limiting me to do this one place. I'm going to destroy this place so that everywhere can be beautiful. Everywhere can be arranged. Everywhere can be organized. Everywhere can become a heaven for people to live in. So when you look at the cover of this picture, perfectly describe the state of Nigerian church. Then I'm going to go straight to the question that people normally ask and say that why should the church take responsibility for the things that happens in this place, or the state of the nation, of the poverty level of this nation? Now, if there is so much insecurity, there is so much poor healthcare, the roads are bad. The reason why all those things are not in place is because of our values. If you have followed this program from the beginning, you realize that it takes people with rich values to create a rich environment. It takes people who are grounded in godly values to go into the world and begin to understand that, you know what, the justice department deserves the value of equity and justice. If the people that are there do not have that value, if you put them there will not be justice in the land. There can never be justice in the land. And
it's not just justice department. Everywhere, every day, it's supposed to be justice and equity. It's supposed to be everywhere, every day.
But because the people who create the value of justice in the land, because they themselves they don't place premium value on it. Justice is not needed. What we just need is money. Let's just get, what can we do? So you see, when pastors sit down to strategize and have meetings, they are not talking about values. They're not talking about what is going on around and how we can change it.
Or justice or equity.
No. That is not our discussion. What we want to talk about is how can we increase our membership? How can we increase the income of the church? How can we take this program to the next level? How can everybody around the world know us? Those are the issues that we discuss.
Selfishness, egocentrism.
Yes, that's, and when you look at it under that thing, everything that I just mentioned, you just package everything and put it inside egocentrism. So it is about me, myself, I. My church, where I belong, this is where I worship. In fact, there are some churches in this land, the fact that you're a member of that church, you just take glory. You take glory because the church is so powerful, so you feel powerful. Even though you're not gaining anything from that place. But just because you're a member of that church, you just feel, do you know the church I attend? This is my church. And you feel good about it. So it's about me, myself, and her. There is no room to talk about value. There is no room to talk about how to change the environment. So that, I believe, the church needs to repent from creating a mindset of instant gratification and rather embrace delayed gratification as a value. And we need to preach it on our message. We need to preach it. It has to be a core value that drives our messages. And not just talk about it, but live by it. We have to be living by that value. Because people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. When they begin to see that you live by that principle, they will follow you. So the reason why we are decayed like this is because the people we are following, they don't have these values. And so they have replicated it in most of us. And that is why the land is where it is. So powerful chapter 1 of the get it now mindset, which indeed you called delayed instant gratification. So let's do away with instant gratification and embrace delayed gratification as a value. And when we do that, this land will change for good.
Beautiful.
Yes, sir. So I'm going again to the chapter 2 of this book. Very, very profound chapter 2. And one of the other things I saw in this place, people don't understand that some of the program that we even organize, so just by organizing program, you can create a value system for people.
Yep.
Because when you see the kind of the places that money is going to, where people pump money into, you will realize the value system of that place. When people want to say, we want to do this crusade or want to do this concert, and you say, what is the bedrock? What is the purpose? What are you trying to achieve by this amount of billions on the program?
It's always self-glorification.
So it is not about nobody wants to say, let's invest this money into the people's life. If you do that, that one is, we're not going to get that thing now. So let's use the money to do something that will blow our name. That will blow our name all over the world. People will know us and say, all over the world, they will say, this man has the biggest this one has the biggest that. It is everything is centered around me. There is no room for delayed gratification. It's about what I tend to get. Now, the second one, the second chapter went straight to the topic. How is the church creating economic recession? How is the church creating economic recession? A lot of people who have been asking this question. They say, how economic recession? What is the church business with economic recession? And I will tell you, when we major on miracle, and all we centralize our Christianity and our ministry on. That is why you even see some church, they will even name their church Miracle Center. So we are telling you in this place, what we do in this place is miracle. Miracle, just come here, you get miracle. And people will be trooping into that place. They don't care about what happens. They don't care about how the values that drive the people. You just come and get the miracle. So when we all we think about is one man miracle, a church that is based on just miracle as a person, and we don't understand that our nations are built not because one man is anointed. Nations are built because people create miracles. How do people create miracles? For example, I said that let's assume that the programs that are done in Nigeria, there are some programs that are done in Nigeria, and the budget of that program is going in the hundreds
let's say tens of billions, tens of billions to organize the program. And I'm saying that all for some few people to get healed, all for some few people to come to that program, and maybe 50,000 people came sick, or they needed miracle for that program, or they were sick in that program. And at the end of that program is only, I'm being generous, 5,000 of them got healed. What happened to the remaining 45,000? So the remaining 45,000 will go, some of them will die before the next year's program, and nobody's going to talk about them. But we will call a few out of the 5,000 that got healing to come and give testimony, and we will magnify that testimony, and everybody will be happy. But do you understand that you have lost more than you gained? So does it mean that the life of the 45 is not important to God? Does it mean we can come back and tell people that, oh, don't worry, it's because they don't have faith? Because our leaders, we have a way of always defending everything. They say, you see all the other 45 that were not healed, it's because they did not have faith. They had little faith. You see the 5,000 that had faith, they were the ones that were healed. But sir, if you had used that money to create a research medical institute, a cancer institute, you had taught people in the values of research, and God created human being to be a problem solver. God has given us the capacity and the brain to solve the problem of our environment. Imagine if we had created a medical center, and those 50,000, you send them to that hospital. You know what is going to happen to them? The guarantee that 70% of them will be healed of their diseases is sure. And they do not even need faith. They don't need to fast and pray. They don't need to come with anointing oil. Just because God has made some people miracle workers called doctors in that place. They are doctors and they are miracle workers. When they touch people like this with their instruments, people just receive miracle. When they perform operation on them, people just receive. It's the miracle of healing everywhere in a large capacity. So let's do the mathematics. Which one is more a value? Is it to come and meet one man so that man can feel big, that at the end of this program, the power of God flowed in that place? People, they will say, in fact, if it's one person that is saved, I've heard that excuse. You spend 10 billion naira, and they will tell you, even if it's one person that is saved in that program, God has taken the glory. And I said, what about the 50,000 that are dying because they cannot afford 3,000 naira malaria drugs? So you think God don't love those people? Oh, so God, the lives of those 50,000 people don't matter to God. It's that one that is saved. But you know what? It is not about the life of that one man. That's not why we organize that program. The reason why we organize that program is because how it makes us feel. We feel big. We feel great. So this, because God is expecting greater miracles from the church. There is greater miracle. Let's not be the same anymore. They call greater. Let our institution, our body, and the body, church as a body, let them begin to build institutions that goes beyond a man. Let's go out there and start creating institutions. Somebody will come out and boast and say we have the best university. Our ministry has the best university in Nigeria. But guess what, sir? The only reason why that university was built is not to change the educational value or standard of Nigeria. But so somebody can boast that you see in this our ministry, we have the best university. What happened to the other universities in the land? How has you building the best university by a ministry? How has this helped the value of education in the land? As a matter of fact, sir, do you know that most of these people who have built the best university, their children don't attend those universities? Because they understand. They will send their children to other universities in other countries. Because those other countries, the university they are even sending their children to, they are not built by a church. They are built by an institution, a community that has come together because the value of good education has been embedded in the roots of the country. So they do not take anything for less. But we here, we will build institutions, we will build universities, and people cannot even afford to go there. And the excuse they will tell you is they will tell you, if we build institutions and we make it cheap for people, how is the church going to fund it? Where do you expect we ought to get money to fund it?
I said, when the colonials and the missionaries came to Nigeria and they brought their school, they brought it free. You should have asked them how they funded it. How were they able to fund the school that you attended and it was free? Because you are what you are today because of the quality education that some people sacrificed. Because they could have gotten they could have been gratified then. They could have just felt, now, oh, instead of teaching you, let's just lay a hand on your head. When we lay our hand on your head and pray for you, your brain will just receive sense like that. They said no, they understand that it doesn't work like that. What changes a man's mentality is the process of education, thorough learning through rich values. And so they poured it inside of most of these people for free. A lot of people in Nigeria, I've said this before. I said, do you know why Boko Haram is hitting us hard now? You know why? Because some people do not understand that building education for those people is a miracle. Giving them schools is a miracle. They don't see that as a miracle. Instead of them to build school for those people, you know what we want to do? We want to go and organize crusade for them. We organize crusade and say they should come to our crusade. They should repeat us after us. After we have done a lot of miracles, they should repeat after us. And we believe that will solve the problem, but that is not going to solve their problem. Because these people, what they need is right orientation, right education. Let us build. God has blessed Nigerian church. God has endorsed so much wealth. Matter of fact, I realize that Nigerian church is even richer than Nigerian economy. If you put all the money that comes into Nigerian church together in a year, it's bigger than the total Nigerian economy. But so the people who have the smaller budget, which is the Nigerian government, we will say, out of the 8 trillion budget, they should come and tell us how they spend the money. They should come and tell us why we did not have good roads. They should come and tell us why we did not have good healthcare. But guess what? We will never ask our church that makes more money, that makes ×3 of Nigerian budgets, cumulatively, and say, sir, church, why don't we have good healthcare? Why don't we have good roads? Because you know what? We have successfully deceived ourselves that the problem is the politics, is the politician, not us. Because we don't understand our place, that we are supposed to be the light. But because we are not the light, instead of us making it good, we are even making it worse. Because we are creating value that will not benefit our children. You know why I'm so passionate about this? Because sometimes I fear for my children. I fear for my children. I fear for the kind of value they will meet when they grow up. I fear for the people who are not yet born. If we continue like this, what is going to happen? It will get to a place, I pray, people will not start killing themselves to survive. If that is not even already happening now.
It's happening now with the rituals, and instant gratification is what gave back to money rituals. All those money rituals, head of people that they are finding everywhere, the pants they are stealing, these underwears of the girls, all that is as a result of this book. What this book is addressing, it's as a result of the messages that are being preached in the church. So when you raise the topic and say that those pants that are being stolen is because of church, people will want to kill you. All those heads that they are carrying everywhere is because of church. Because that is what this book is addressing.
Yes, fantastic. You said you gave one statistic in this place that blew my mind. When you told the World Health Organization says 661,000 Americans have kidney failures. And of these 661,000, 406,000 individuals are on dialysis. And roughly 193.
Okay, that is what they call network in Nigeria.
It's a big miracle.
Hello?
Hello, sir.
You have to. I think we have. Okay, it's back now. You have to start again with the statistics.
So the statistics says more than 661,000 Americans have kidney failures. And of these 661,000, 468,000 of them go through dialysis. Individual go through dialysis. And out of those people, roughly 193,000 of them come out with a functioning kidney transplant. That for me is a bigger miracle. As a miracle, the miracle working God is working in America.
So whereas all our crusades cannot produce one person with kidney in the miracle.
In fact, when we produce one, if you see, for people listening, I need them to understand that we are not saying that God doesn't do miracle. God still does miracle. But when we expect God to do what he has equipped us to do, then that is foolishness. That is insulting God, insulting the glory that God has put in every man. Because God has made every one of us a solution. You see these people that are doing those kidney transplants, they are anointed men of God. I see them as anointed men of God.
More anointed than the ones in the church.
Very, very anointed. Because every case, most cases that they handle comes out successful. That is the miracle. And Nigerian church needs to preach this so that our young children that are growing up, they will strive for excellence. They will strive to become problem solvers. They will strive to get the best of education, to get the right values, so that they don't know that in their hands can produce miracle. That every time, as engineers, they can solve problems. As doctors, they can produce miracles everywhere. As economists, they can solve. They are anointed to solve the world economic issues. That is an anointing for it in them. So it's not about when we gather in a place and we say one pastor will lay hand on us for miracle. So the church need to look into this. So it's not that we are saying that God doesn't work miracle or God doesn't in this book. One of the things you said is, does God actually want us to live by miracle?
No.
God doesn't want us to live by miracle. Miracle, as a matter of fact, miracle are for babies. Miracle are for people who are not grounded. When you are grounded, you will start taking responsibilities. It's like you stay in your house and you say, God, you give me miracle food. When God was providing food for the Israelites, at some point it stopped because they themselves they didn't even believe. They don't even trust God. They don't even trust God enough. Even though God was giving them free food, they were eating free food every day. It gets to a point, God, you cannot continue at this level. This is not the level that God wants you to be. God wants us to be a producer. God wants to be a solution, not just a receive mentality. So the only thing we care about in this place is to receive. Nobody thinks of what to give back. And that has to stop. Because the pioneer of that mentality is the church. Indirectly and directly. We don't know that we are doing this thing, but that is exactly what we are doing.
But the church is only receiving. It's not, even when you have a need, they don't give you back.
Yes. Let me even say something. I used to tell people that majority of our church, when you look at, some will say, at least we are doing this, we are doing that. Because I know of some churches in Nigeria that do social services. I know of some. And the question I ask is, yes, I know we do social services, but at what percentage? And why did I say that? There are some churches who, at the end of the year, they will share some food for people. Some will even say, they are doing educationals. They will send teachers to schools and go and teach them and all that. But what I found out is, you see all those community service, they are the least in the budget, in the plan of the church. The smallest portion of the church money or our own money, it goes to community service. That one is when we chop belly full. When we are full, then we need to give something back. If you want to know where a man's heart is, look at the direction of his money. When you see the direction of the person's money, he said, where your treasures are, there your heart will be. When you trace the direction of when our ministry, our church money is going to, then you can really see where our heart is.
Egocentric.
We see that we will rather spend billions on billboards so that people can know us, and flyers and adverts and posters, and do crusades, pack down the stadiums. We don't mind. We'll send billions. But when it comes to giving back, there's still some money. We'll not create a small committee of people. So you know what we do now? Is a committee that used to solve. We just create a small people. You people go and meet their need. So it is not even a church. It's not the core purpose of the church anymore. It's just one part of the church. So say for people who have needs, go and do that. But if it becomes the main thing, so that all the things we do, when we shift our mindset and say, you know what, we are going to solve the problem of poverty in this land, and we deliberately build institutions that equip people. Institutions that train people and make them learn the ethics of work, the ethics of how to manage time, the ethics of excellence. You train plumbers, you train carpenters, you train builders, you train tilers deliberately. The church can fund that. And all these jobless people that are looking for work everywhere and are constituting nuisance and are becoming armed robbers that will come and hunt us back again, they will have found solution. And these people will take that skill, not the small scale that we do. I'm saying let it make it a major project in training people with skills acquisition. Send them into the society. These people will not now be looking for a job, but rather they will be creating jobs. And by you doing that, you have solved a major economic problem.
Beautiful.
You have solved a major economic problem. But we will not look in that direction. So we have to destroy the stronghold of egocentrism and let people know that the purpose of the church is to solve problems. We are not called just to preach, just be talking to people. Somebody told me, a friend of mine, he said everybody is a preacher. So preaching is not even the main thing. Everybody, God sent all of us to preach. So whether you are a doctor, an engineer, an accountant, an economics, you are a pilot, whatever you are, even in your field, you are still a preacher everywhere you are. So until we get that as our foundation, this problem will continue to persist, and we will still keep thinking that every time we gather in the church, we are solving a problem. No, instead of solving a problem, we are creating a problem. We are creating a problem.
For those people who don't know what we are discussing, there is this book, How the Church Creates Economic Recession. And that is the book that Michael is reviewing. This is the book. If you have not yet read the book, you can go get it on sundaydelajablog.com/books or on Amazon Unlimited for free. You can go and read it for free on Amazon Unlimited, or you can go and get it on Amazon or Kindle Unlimited. Sorry, go and read it for free, or you can buy the book on Amazon. Or if you are in Africa, you can buy it on OkadaBooks.
OkadaBooks.
So, but we're only having about 10 minutes to go, and it's only in chapter 2 of the book. Reviewing it, not even reading it, just reviewing it. And but apart from this book, there is a new book that I just released this week, which you can buy for $3 if you go and buy it on Amazon right now before Friday. Till Friday, it will be there for $3, and it's The Plague of Silence. The Plague of Silence is the biggest challenge that is facing our African culture and Nigeria in particular. But just in case any one of you want to contribute to this discussion, and maybe you have read the book as well. If anybody has read the book as well and you want to support and tell us and share with us what you got and what you would like to say about this book,
okay,
please go ahead and do the normal thing we do. Go to Facebook Messenger. And when you get to Facebook Messenger, look for or search for Move Agents, one word, Move Agents, MADIC, Move Agents, and write to us that you want to call or you want to contribute. Then we will call you back. But meanwhile, for those of you who still want to come for History Makers training in Ukraine, the next History Makers training is from the 2nd to the 7th of February. So go ahead and go to my blog as well, sundaydelajablog.com/HMT, History Makers Training, HMT, and you can register and still make it. Or you could write directly to hmt@godembassy.org. Okay, let's go back to Michael. Okay, meanwhile, I think we have a caller or something. Okay, Michael, before we go back to Michael, and before we begin to receive calls, if there are going to be people who want to call, that's why you were Ghost. So before we go back to our guest and before we begin to receive the calls, for those of you who want to be getting our messages on daily basis, the way to do it is to send your WhatsApp number to us or your telephone number to us, and we'll add you and we'll be sending you the messages every day. So our number is +38 098 596 3838. So if you send your number to this number, +38098-596-3838, then that is how we will be able to get the messages to you every day. Hello, Michael.
Sir.
Yes, please. Let's continue. We still have a few minutes before we go.
Our network is powerful.
It's good now. You came back. It's better.
So basically, you're talking about the things that build a nation, the values that build a nation. How miracle is not one of those things that build a nation. You listed population, natural resources, physical capital, human capital, technology, and law. There is no miracle there in one of those things. Prayer is not one of those things. Fasting is not one of, because if they are, Nigeria should be a top-class country. Because if there is a nation that prays in this world, Nigerian pray. As a matter of fact, the whole of December, we normally, in fact, the rate at which you pray in December, by January, we are supposed to be a first world country. But it doesn't happen like that, because people who are nation builders have realized that God will not do for you what you ought to do for yourself. People are deliberate about the state of their nation. So I'm never going to be deceived, and I'm going to tell people, you don't be deceived when people tell you that it's because the politicians are not doing the right thing. No. They don't have the answer. If they had the answer, then there wouldn't be a need for the gospel. We are supposed to show them and teach them that this is what needs to be done, and this is how you do it. And when we lead the way, every other person follow.
And the Bible didn't say that the politicians are the light of the world.
Never. It cannot be there.
And they are not the salt of the earth.
Yes, sir. It can never be. It can never be. The church still remains the reason why nations will transform and kingdom of God will be established in the world. It is still in the hand of the church, never in the hand of the politicians. If it's in the hand of the politicians, then we don't need the church. So it's very, very important that we retrace our direction. This is a call to redirection, to say, let's go to the root of the problem.
I think we have a call out.
Okay.
Hello? Hello? Do we have a caller there? Hello? Okay, our caller is not. Hello? Hello?
Hello, DSA.
Yes, can you speak into the microphone louder so that we could hear you?
Yeah, I'm already on I already load my device. Are you hearing me now?
Yes, no, speak. We hear a little bit, but we need to hear you louder.
I don't know what is wrong, but I think it's on the last volume.
Okay.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, just speak louder.
Okay, I just want to contribute on the topic of my brother today, Brother Michael.
Yes.
I really appreciate his works.
Where are you calling? Who is calling from where?
Yeah, my name is Peter, calling from Belgium.
Yes, Peter.
Yeah. I just want to contribute a little bit and appreciate our brother there that take his time to come and explain all the books or the books that he have read. I really appreciate it. I just want to contribute on how church caused economic crisis, how the church caused economic crisis. I've already read the book, and it's so interesting. It's a move. The book, I don't know how to explain it, but it's a book that all Nigerians, or everybody, Christians in Nigeria, need to read. If we are really honest to ourselves, we really need change, this revolution, because this instant gratification have caused a chaos, a problem in our society in Nigeria, in our churches, even here in Europe. And we need to change that mentality of instant gratification. We need to change the mentality of instant now, the desire to get it now. Because when I read this book, In fact, from the chapter 1, chapter 2, I just put it aside. I said, oh my God, this is one of the problems that we have in Nigeria. Everything that we are facing in Nigerian society today, in every area of our lives today, that is what is stated in that book. This everyone, I just want to say, if everyone know what, if everybody that knows the best to do for his or herself have to read this book, because it's break our hearts that actually the way our society is today in Nigeria, every area, even the learned one, even the doctors, the system is not working because of this instant gratification, the desire to get it now. We know what is happening in our society today. We know what is happening in Nigeria today. Everybody just want to quick fix, quick this.
You are from Edo. You are from Edo State, eh?
I'm from Edo State.
Did you pity your state when you read that book?
I pity my state. I pity my state because so many things that is happening in my state today, so many things that is happening today. If we can just go back and everybody humble, even our GOs, because all these problems that we are facing today come from the value that we have. The system is not working. The church that's supposed to build the value system for the Nigerian people, they're the one that caused the main problem that we have today.
But you said after reading 2 chapters, you put the book aside. What happened?
Because it's everything that, because, it takes you to have the honest, if you have a honest heart, a truthful person, when you are, there are some things that you will see, it will shock you, it will break your heart because you feel this is what is happening, this is what we need, this is what is happening to our society. I feel it. It was, I think the time you put it on Amazon. It was even €2 or €3. Yes, that's why I got it. I got it on
a discount.
Yeah, I got it on discount. Yes, I got it on discount because I have even the same. I have read Life
is an Opportunity.
Life is an Opportunity. I mean, it changed my mind. It changed my perception. It changed everything about me. All the books, Matter of Ignorance, I have read it. I mean, all these books, I have listened to all your true series of your messages. I mean, this one that we are talking about today is a book that will revolutionize Nigeria. Yes. It's a book that we need to it's an instrument of its own. Because we now see how breakthrough miracle, instant miracle, receive it now, what he has caused in our society, our mothers, our brothers, our sisters, even the educated one, they will be sitting there, will be waiting for miracle. People will go to church from Monday to Sunday. When we talk about economic crisis, we want to bring it down how it caused economic crisis. Imagine, like yesterday, that was Sunday in Nigeria. You imagine how much the church will take home, that the money that will not circulate in our system. All the market women, petty traders, because of just give and give and give. So at times, these people they cannot even pay school fees for their family. They cannot pay because they are expecting. It's like a game every day. They will only tell you that the reason why you are not blessed, you are not giving all. All this, I don't know how it will stop. That is the reason I said I will do everything possible myself to see how I will contribute to this revolution. Because this is, for the past 35 years, we have been living in it's like a circle, a vicious circle. That is what Nigeria is. We're just running in the same circle every day. Our people don't even have a direction anymore. The value system is not there. They don't even understand what is value system. They don't even understand when you are talking in Nigeria. They will say, because you are not living here, that's why you are talking like this. That's what they will tell you. They will tell you don't. Yeah. They will tell you don't know anything. They will tell you don't know anything. You don't even. They will bring you down. But I know that this revolution is going wide, and a lot of work. We need a lot of work. We need a lot of hand on deck. Like my brother Michael now that is talking is calling for doing a review from Nigeria. I really appreciate him. Everyone that I see that is calling for doing his review from Nigeria, calling from Nigeria, I really appreciate them because that is where the work is. That is where the battle is. If 1 or 2 persons come from Nigeria, I will go to bed to rejoice. I will go and give a test. I will be happy because that is where the work is. The work is in Nigeria. But I also know we have good people in Nigeria. We have people that is waiting. They are waiting for just to hear the truth. There are some people that just want to hear the truth. They are just waiting. They don't know where to go. They are in the middle. They don't know where to go anymore. When you talk today why you don't go to church, they don't even know why they go to church. They don't even know why they are Christians. They don't even know the basic, the fundamental to be a Christian. They don't even know. Everybody have a full list of 21 items that they want God to do for them. From 365 days, 52 weeks in a year, they go round and continue like that for more than 15, 20 years. Because the so-called pastors and GOs, they are building empires, so they don't care for the people. This book is as do I say, it's a miracle. It's a book that if you are truthful, when you read it, you can't finish it because you will get everything. Our brother make analysis of Americans that have a dialysis. I mean, when we don't have hospital in Nigeria, we don't have good hospital. People die of malaria, die of fever, and they will go to church. Somebody will be sick in Nigeria, they will take him to church instead of to the hospital. That is how the mountain of ignorance have wounded our people. Somebody will have headache, they will take him to church instead of hospital. Ignorance. So all the books, Dr. Adelaja, all the books that you have written, from the one I have seen that I have glanced through, is have a work, each of them have a work to do in our country, Nigeria.
Yeah.
Every book that you have written that I have seen, who am I? Who am I? We don't even know who we are. We don't even know who we are. We don't even know our left. If our Nigeria, everybody is just going like zombie, but they pretend to know that they know what they are doing. Look at what happened today. Like today, what happened? 70 lawyers in court because the CJJ of Justice of Nigeria has been sued to court because of fraud. Nigeria, everybody is just talking. Nigeria is separate because mountain of ignorance. That is mountain of ignorance. Everybody is just reacting, talking the way they don't even think.
They don't even think that this guy, he said it himself that, he did something wrong and everybody's still defending him.
Yes, he said it himself. He said he forgot, somebody that forgot $300 million. He forgot, it's not $300,000. And people say they don't want to talk about that. They said, no, how can you take him to court because he's from South, because it's this, this is what we are talking in Nigeria. This is the system. That is what our brother is explaining there right now. And it's painful. Our fathers, everybody nobody has the sense of reason.
Thank you so much, Peter.
Thank you, dear. I'm expecting, I think I have an appointment with you on Thursday.
Oh, okay. On Thursday? I'm not
Yes. Yeah.
You are going to be on the program on Thursday.
On Thursday, yes.
Okay.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see.
Okay, wow, that would be great. I'm looking forward.
Yeah.
God bless you, Peter.
Thank you, Pastor.
Bye.
Thank you, Thank you for your good work that you are doing. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Wow. So let's see. Issues one key? Okay, I think we have callers. We still have callers. But meanwhile, I want to also tell you about the latest book that just came out. This, as strong as this particular book is on how the church creates economic recession, but this other one, the plague of silence. I don't think there is any family that is not suffering from this one. And churches are suffering from it. The whole society, Africa is suffering from it. The world is suffering from it. Plague of silence. Bad news. Bad news. And so that one, you can still get it for $3 now, but after Friday, then it will be the normal price, which is $20. So if you want to get it, you can get it too. But also, if you've not yet read this one, How the Church Creates Economic Recession, You will just, when you read it, just like the brother said, Brother Peter, that he dropped the book. He was tired. He said, 2 chapters is enough for me. We have a caller.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning, dear sir.
Yes, sir. Who is calling, sir? From where?
Well, my name is Osibajo. I'm calling from Seattle, Washington.
Yes, I will say I see you on Facebook.
Yes. Yeah, I've been following your track for a while, and I'm really impressed with the action you're taking. And I read one of your books. My only concern about your book is that you just write about the facts. You just write about the truth. That's my criticism against you, is that you write about the truth. You write about the facts. But as a PhD candidate, pastor, people don't act because they just don't know the truth. People act because they are not inspired or motivated. And that's why in United States, the motivation and people business is about $500 million a year. Right now, overall, it's $11 billion industry. Because human beings all over the world need something to motivate them.
Yeah, entertainment.
Yes, but you see, the thing is that what you are saying about this Nigerian value system, I want to just warn you, because even educated Nigerians in United States who are born again Christians don't align with you. Because most of my people, Nigerians, and for me, I read about 100 books every year. This is not my school book, just the books I buy from Amazon, and from there's a half price bookstore here in Seattle where I go and get my books half price. I read one of your books anyway, while working for Uncle Sam. Everything you put there is a fact, is the truth. It's not that they don't know it. You see, the people don't have the motivation. In psychology, we study motivation theory. People don't have the motivation and the inspiration to be able to walk away without fear to take action on those things.
Yeah.
And that's the challenge we have in Nigeria. It's not okay. I know there are some people who are devoid of the truth. That's the truth. But the thing is that people have to be inspired to make a different choice from the choices they are making right now. People have to wake you up from. I see where you're telling people, because I see how you do your program, like back to back, every day, back to back, sometimes 3 or 4 in a day. It's not easy to wake up from bed to go and do it if you are not moved, if you are not motivated, if you are not inspired to do something.
Yes.
Even if you just do it for the fun of it, or let's assume you get a joy from doing it and there's no money coming from it, that has to be there before you to get up and do it. So excuse me. When you see people not performing, it's not because they don't want to, it's because they don't know how. And that's where we are stuck in Nigeria. We are recently the NASA just launched another probe into the orbit that has gone the farthest in our solar system. It has got to 4.5 billion miles away from the Earth.
Wow.
Talk to any Nigerian scientist that is a born again Christian, they will tell you they don't buy onto all those things. I'm talking about doctors, engineers, or lawyers who are Christian, even those who live in America as well.
Wow.
You see, because for some reason, we Nigerians have not accepted ourselves as part of the world. When you tell Nigerians anything, they say, because you don't live there, just like the other brother was saying, because you just live, you don't live in Nigeria. Or they tell you, don't worry about what is going on in anywhere. Nigerian case is different. We're not different from anybody. It's just that we just don't open our mind to learn. The first time aircraft carrier was built in the world was in 1911. I think it was by the French Navy. Built the ship that carried aeroplane on top of it. 1911. You know when 19. But after 3 years or 4 years after the French built their aircraft carrier, the Japanese built their own in 1940. So all these societies have been copying one another, looking how to improve, looking at the things to do. In Nigeria, we don't know how to do all those things.
Wow.
And that's why you're having the challenges. And that, there's sometime I writing you, I was making a comment that program you call HMT, if you can change the name to Christian Transformation Training, and it will involve all Americans, because the HMT you use explains what you're doing quite right, but it's a nuance for Nigerians. They don't understand that.
They want the religious words.
Yeah, you gotta use something to appeal them, to make them understand what to do, what they're trying to do. He said HMT trade, history makers. He said what history? You gotta break it down. Because a lot of the certain things you teach, maybe you have to tone it down, because if people are not matured enough to understand A, you can't go teaching about Z. And that's why our people are too far. Honestly speaking, where our people are is very, very, very far. Do you know that what the brother Osibajo is speaking on about building a hospital instead of going to? If you say it to some churches here in America, among educated Nigerians, they will start challenging you. So you don't believe that God can heal? So you don't believe that God is a powerful God? You cannot. You see, they think that anytime you bring knowledge-based effort, you are now discrediting God. That's what they assume. They assume that if you apply knowledge, then that you're playing God down.
Wow.
Yes, that's because they don't know that God created human beings in His own image and likeness.
Yeah.
And the essence of this idea is that God has created man to create things.
Yeah.
The people who created aeroplane, nobody gave them a blueprint. The people who made car, nobody. He just imagined it. He said, I will make this happen. Even when people tell them, look, you cannot make it happen, they say, watch me and see. They never go and say, oh, by the grace of God, or if God will it. No, he said, no, I will make this thing happen. Because when you know who you are, just like the brother was saying, I've read a book on knowing who you are, but these are from other authors, like people like Ekatoli or Wayne Dyer or some of those guys. Well, even there's some books, from Deepak Chopra, the medical doctor that's was born in India.
In India,
so yeah. So some of these people have no way of opening their mind, and the inspiration is the key. They have to inspire our people, how to make them understand that certain things need action, and it doesn't happen except when somebody is actually touched, to the extent where he doesn't believe that he can move further, without taking an action.
Beautiful.
And when they believe that this is part of who they are and why the purpose of them being on earth. And that's the only thing I wanted to share with you. I will call other time, because there are other things I may want to add.
Beautiful. Beautiful, we say. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Blessings.
Thank you for the work. Thank you for the work, Bill.
Okay. We lost our guest today. We lost Michael, but he has done a great job. He's done a great job. So what the book he was reviewing is how the church creates economic recession. And if you don't have it, you can get it on Kindle Unlimited for free, or you can read it on Amazon, or you could get it on OkadaBooks in Africa. And then, and the new book, which came out this week, which will be there till Friday as a pre-order for just $3, is The Plague of Silence. And that is the major challenge that we all have to face too. And so I'll be back in the next 15 minutes to keep on talking about how to know God through the Holy Spirit. How to know God through the Holy Spirit. So, go read this book, and your mind, your life will begin to be just turned upside down. We'll see you in 15 minutes, then we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.